September is National Chiari Awareness Month as well as National Hydrocephalus Awareness Month. So let's talk about these conditions. Yesterday I presented the case of a 26-year-old female who came to my office complaining of migraine headaches for years. She described the headaches as occipital, meaning they started in the back of her head and they got worse if she sneezed or coughed. I asked the question why that is. When you cough or sneeze or do what's called a Valsalva maneuver, which is what you do when you go number 2, you actually increase the intracranial pressure. If you have a condition that alters your intracranial pressure, these can actually worsen your symptoms. The MRI of her brain showed Chiari malformation, and what I am seeing when I look at this MRI of the brain is that her cerebellar tonsils, or this portion of her brain, is not supposed to be right there. This portion of her brain is supposed to end at the foramen magnum, but what's happened in Chiari malformation is a portion of this brain hangs down too low and obstructs the flow of fluid. Our brain makes spinal fluid and it naturally circulates in the brain and down through the spinal cord. So if there's any condition that obstructs this flow of fluid or even alters the production of fluid, you can get increased intracranial pressure. It's also called hydrocephalus. You can see in a normal cerebellum, the fluid will bathe around the cerebellum and down through the spinal cord in what's called the central canal. Her MRI of her cervical spine, you can see because these tonsils hang down, the fluid flow is altered and there's increased fluid that actually goes through the spinal cord itself and causes what's called a cervical syrinx. As I mentioned before, the fluid should